Hi, welcome back. I'm Melissa Muir. Today I'm with Fordham once again, and I am talking about handpiece maintenance. If you have a handpiece, it needs to be maintained. Let me show you what you do need to do and what you don't need to do based on the handpiece you have. Let's take a look. So here I have a variety of the handpieces, and we also have some specialty handpieces with duplex springs. So first up is our number 30 handpiece. This is probably the most common handpiece that people will have. It's most recognizable. It has a 3-jaw chuck, also known as a Jacob's chuck. You need your key to open and close this. So one of the things we want to do is make certain that we don't have any dust or debris in here. You can open this chuck up all the way, bring in a Q-tip or something like that and just kind of wipe it out. Or I might even take a little bit of compressed air and just blow that out. The other thing that I want to do is be careful, or take care of maintaining where this connects to my flex shaft. And you'll see on this one there's quite a bit of grease that comes out of that. We want to be very careful not to allow too much grease to get into here, because it does have already some lubricated bearings. We do not want any grease to get into those lubricated bearings, or it will cause a lot of extra friction and can wear down our handpiece much more quickly. Now, similarly to the maintaining on this particular handpiece, the 44T and the 28 are going to be very similar. There's not a whole lot of maintenance to do on these. So again, every now and then I'm just going to take a Q-tip in, and you can see this one's pretty clean. Do the same thing on this guy. Again, pretty clean, just because it actually doesn't get used a whole lot here in my studio. So that's all that needs to be done on those. If you find that the bearings are going out, and you're going to know because it's going to make a lot of noise and things just are not going to run as smoothly as possible, then you may have to replace the bearings in these. There is a kit that you can purchase from Fordham to do that, and it will come with instructions. It is not a super simple process, but it is one that you can do, and not too horribly hard. However, you can also send your handpiece to Fordham and they will do that for you. You may, however, find it a little bit more cost effective to simply replace the handpiece. Now here I have 3 of the quick change handpieces. They are called quick change handpieces because they have a 3/32 mandrel that they will fit, and that's all that they fit. For each of these, again, maintenance is a little bit similar except for the 10. There is some routine maintenance that needs to be done on this particular handpiece, a little bit more detailed. You can find detailed instructions both in the paper that comes with your handpiece, as well as you can find those on the Fordham website. We'll have another video that goes through and walks you through that, because it is a little bit more involved for the maintenance on this, but otherwise you can do some of the basic routine maintenance on these. Now, one thing I want to point out with a quick change handpiece, one of the most common problems that people have with this is that their mandrel will tend to get stuck. So when they go to open this, so I'll swing this open a little bit, and they'll go to pull the mandrel out. A lot of times it will get stuck, okay? And then they continue to pull, and what happens is it tightens that collet around that mandrel. In order for you to remove it, all you need to do is push down and then pull out, and it will release the collet tension around your mandrel. So if you find that it gets stuck, don't continue to pull. Actually push it all the way in and then pull it out, and it should come out. Now, like the other previous handpieces that we've just talked about, they are already pre-lubricated, so you just need to take that cotton ball every now and then and just kind of run it in here at the end of this where it connects, and make sure you don't have any excess oil or grease on that. Now that's the number 20. I also do that for the 18, the number 18 handpiece. Again, I'm just going to come in. You can see which of my handpieces have a little bit more use on them, because they definitely build up that grease. Now this is the one where I really notice that my piece will get kind of stuck if I'm pulling it out. There will be a little bit of tension. So anytime I'm using a quick change handpiece, always push in and then pull it out, and you should be fine. Another thing that's very important on these handpieces, because we do have that collet that's always under pressure, it is extremely important that you store these with some kind of a mandrel in here. Whether you use an actual accessory, or you use one of the blank mandrels that came with this, it doesn't matter, but you always want to store this particular handpiece with something in it. Now, like I said, for the number 10, this one's a little bit more involved. So as a routine thing, I'm just going to, again, go ahead and clean out the end of this, make certain that I don't have any debris in there. I also want to make certain that I can easily push in and pull out any of my pieces, but there are a few more steps. You actually have to open this all up and kind of clean this out, and that's another video. We'll talk a little bit more about that just because it is a little bit more involved. Once again, all of these feature some pre-lubricated bearings, so we don't want to put any oil into either the ends or the top of that. We want to just kind of let that part go. If you do find that you need some bearings replaced, you can either get a kit from Fordham and do that yourself, or you can send this in for some maintenance at the Fordham shop. Now here in this grouping, I have my hammer hand pieces, which are a 15D or a 15, and I also have my 18D, which is my quick change hand piece, but it has the duplex spring. I also have a duplex spring adapter. Now with this is where we really do come in with some oiling of our hand pieces. About every 20 working hours, sometimes 10, it just depends on how often you're using these, you are going to want to apply a little drop of oil, especially to the duplex spring. You want to make sure that that keeps running nice and smooth. So I open up this little oiler, and I again got these from Fordham, and you will see that there is a small hole at the base of the duplex spring, and you only want to just put in just 1 or 2 drops into this, and that's all it takes. If I have the duplex spring adapter, this allows me to take pretty much any of my hand pieces and make it have a duplex spring. This is also a very cost-effective way to have a duplex spring type of attachment on any of your hand pieces. And if it happens to break, then I only have to replace the adapter, not the entire hand piece. So once again, every 10 to 20 hours, I'm going to just add a drop of oil into that duplex spring. Now when we have a hammer hand piece, not only do I need to oil my duplex spring, but I also need to oil the hammer hand piece itself. So there is an additional hole in the hammer hand piece up here at the top, and I'm going to just again drop 1 drop of oil into that. And that is going to allow that hammering action to be lubricated in the mechanism that causes that. Same type of thing here on the 15 rather than the 15D, so that just means it does not have the duplex spring on that. Now as before, I also like to take these and just ensure that I don't have any kind of oil buildup. As you can see on mine, I definitely get a bit of grease. Now this is just grease that is coming off the key of my flex shaft, so as I insert this in here, but the last thing we want to have that do is get into the lubricated bearings that are already kind of taken care of for us when we use our hand pieces. So we just want to keep that from getting any additional excess oil or grease into that. Now if you're using your flex shafts and your hand pieces every day and a long time for each day, it might actually be good for you to do this as a nightly routine as you close up your studio. Simply pull your hand piece off, take a Q-tip and even clean off kind of that little key that fits into your hand piece, because we don't want any of that excess oil or grease getting into the hand piece. And then at that point, just kind of clean out the end of your hand piece and you're ready to go. By doing this, it takes just a couple of seconds and your hand pieces will be maintained much better for much longer, and they will last you a lifetime. Now if you have any questions on how to maintain any of these, you can refer to the paperwork that came with your hand piece. It will have all the different instructions that you need to both maintain your flex shaft and your hand piece, or you can find those directions on the Fordham website. As always, if you have any questions, drop them down into the comments. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you like these videos, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us.